Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Tutorials. I'm Kim. I've designed this square and I'm after your help to name it. I think it looks a little bit like a sun in the middle here with some rays coming out around the edges. You might think it looks like a star. I guess my thoughts on naming the square were something sun related, or potentially star related, but I'd really love to hear your thoughts. It is going to be loaded up as a free pattern on Ravelry. So of course to do that I will need a name. At the moment I'm a little bit stumped for names, so we'll have a look at how to make it, and then I'd love to see your comments down in the comment section below of what we could name this square. Just for reference, I've made this one in a 10 ply yarn, which is a worsted weight yarn. It's kind of a heavy worsted weight yarn. And the resulting square, although it's only 6 rounds, the resulting square is 8 inches. This one was made with a, I guess it's an 8 ply yarn, but it's clearly a much lighter weight yarn, and it measures at around, well, just a touch over 6 inches. So I have made it in a couple of other colours here for you to look at. This is the grey. I'll pop the pink one out of the way. This is the grey, and this one is a Lion brand Heartland yarn, and it is a number 4 yarn. So it's a worsted weight yarn, but it isn't quite as big as this pink one. It just is a little bit shy of that, but irrespective of what yarn you use, you're going to end up with quite a large square with this pattern, and of course it's got all these lovely sun rays in it. I should let you know that it does incorporate a couple of different stitches. These are a treble crochet 2 together. In the UK, you'll know that stitch as a double treble crochet 2 together. These are double crochet 3 together, or in the UK, you'll know that one as the treble crochet 3 together. And we have some front post stitches as well as some front post 2 together. So otherwise it's made in mainly double crochet. There is a round of half double crochet around the edge, because I really like half double crochet. I think it finishes off a square quite nicely, and not in that kind of tight way that single crochet does. But let's get started on how to make it. Alrighty, so I'm going to be using this 10 ply yarn, and it's a worsted weight yarn, but it's kind of a heavy worsted weight. It's not a bulky, but it is quite a significant yarn. It's the same sort of yarn that I've used to make this one. And I'm going to be using a 5.5mm hook. I will apologise for my broken thumbnails. They both broke within like 2 days of each other. I guess that's life. Can't do anything about that. All right, so to make the first round, round 1 is a magic ring with 12 double crochets crocheted into it. In the UK, of course, you know that as the treble crochet. So to make the magic ring, just lay the yarn across your hand like this with the tail across your hand. Wrap it around the front of your hand and then come up and wrap across to make this X on the back of your hand. Then bring in your hook, grab the back yarn, drag it under and turn, and I take this opportunity just to chain 1, because that actually completely solidifies that magic ring for you. So because I've already chained 1, I only need to chain 2 to get up to the height of a double or treble crochet, whatever your terminology is. So I chain 2, and then we need to pop 11 more double crochets into that ring for a total of 12 in this round. So go ahead and put 12, including this chain 3, double crochets into this ring, and I'll meet you when you're finished. Okay, so this is our 12 double crochets into the ring. We just need to close the ring and then slip stitch to the top of that chain 3 we made in the beginning of the round. Just slip stitch into that. And that's round 1 complete. So round 2 is actually the treble crochet 2 together. So we're going to do 12 treble crochet 2 together, and that is these stitches here, these long sort of rays on the sun in the middle. So they are, if you're in the UK, you know those as the double treble. And it's like a double crochet. If you've never done one before, it's absolutely fine. It's exactly like a double crochet, except you yarn over twice in the beginning. But any crochet together stitch is done slightly differently. So we need to chain 4 to get to the height of the stitch, and then yarn over twice and go back into that same stitch where we just slip stitched and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through those final 2. So technically that's not a together stitch because we had already had the chain, but we're going to chain 3 in between them all. So every time we do the 2 stitches into 1 stitch in the first round, we're going to chain 3 between them all, and then yarn over twice again, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and this is where we're going to do the 2 together, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop there. Then yarn over twice again, go into the same stitch, pull up another loop, so now you'll have 5 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 of them, yarn over, pull through 2 of them, and yarn over and pull through the final 3, and then chain 3. And that is the treble crochet 2 together. So once again, yarn over twice into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, stop there, yarn over twice again, back into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, 5 loops on the hook now, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 3, and then chain 3. And we need to do 1 of those treble crochet 2 together, followed by a chain 3 into each stitch around, and I'll meet you when we get to the end. Okay, so after round 2, this is what your center circle will look like. We just need to chain 3 and then slip stitch to join. Now this, I'll pull that out for a second. This little space here, right next to the double crochet 2 together, I'll just put my hook in it and show you. This little space here is the space where you join to. Now, sometimes that can be really, really tight and difficult to get into, and it is perfectly fine to just join to this larger loop here. But if you can get into this little space, then do so, because it is a little bit neater. It won't make a massive difference if you can't get in, don't panic. So we just need to join to that little stitch, which is actually a remnant from completing the stitch and starting that chain, and just slip stitch to that place. And that is the end of round 2. So for round 3, we're going to just need to slip stitch into this chain 3 space, and then we're going to start with they're actually double crochet 3 togethers all around this central sun. So they are separated by a chain 2 and then separated from each other by a chain 4. So to do the double crochet 3 together, the first one we really need to do a double crochet 2 together and a chain 3. So just chain 3 and then yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop the way you would for a normal double crochet, yarn over and pull through 2, but stop there, yarn over, into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3. and then chain 2, and then we'll make a proper 3 together. So we just do the double crochet, but we stop at this point, yarn over and go back into the stitch, pull through 2, stop again, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, back into the stitch, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 of those stitches. And then we're going to chain 4. And then we need to do this, the double crochet 3 together twice, separated by a chain 2 into every space. So into the stitch, or into the space really, and just be making those first halves of 3 double crochets. And once you've got the first halves of 3 double crochets and you've got 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all those loops and chain 2, and then do it again in that same space. 2 and 3, yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 4 between the pairs. Oh, that's my dog having a big shake in the background. He might want to go out in a second. All right, so we're going to do this double crochet 3 together into every space. Of course he wants to go out. I won't be a second. Kids and animals, hey? All right, so we're chaining 4 after the pair, and then making the pair of double crochet 3 together. 1, 2, 3, and together with a chain 2 between them in each of these chain 3 spaces from the previous round, and then chaining 4. So once you do that into each of your spaces, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so after round 3, this is what your piece will look like. It looks a little bit like a wheel. I've chained my 4, and we're just going to slip stitch to that same place, that tiny little chain space at the completion of the 3 together. So just slip stitch to that, and that is the end of round 3. So round 4 it brings in some front post double crochet 2 together stitches, and if you've never done a front post stitch, don't be afraid, they're really easy. To do the beginning front post double crochet 2 together, which is an enormous mouthful, but to do that beginning stitch from here where we're right at the base, I'm just going to chain 2 and then yarn over and begin the front post stitch. So to do a front post stitch, you just insert your hook behind the stitch like that, and you just come in from the right and come out on the left and insert your hook like that, and then I just wrap my yarn like that so it runs across the top of that stitch. So you don't want the yarn to be here, and it's sat in the logical place anyway. You don't want it to be too far down, and you don't want it to be right up over here either, up over that chain. So you just want it to sit at the top of that stitch, and then just grab your yarn and pull it up, yarn over and pull through 2, and leave it there because this is a together. So if it was a front post stitch, we'd yarn over and we'd pull through these 2 loops, but because this is a 2 together, we're leaving that there. We're yarning over and we're doing the same thing around the next set of double crochet 3 together. So we're going in from the right, behind and out onto the left, yarning over and just pulling it up like that. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3, and that's your front post double crochet 2 together. So then we're going to chain 4, and in this round we're going to put in the corners. So we're going to take this from being a circle to a square. So chain 4, and then we're going to put in another front post double crochet 2 together. In fact, we're going to front post double crochet 2 together around the tops of all of these double crochet 3 together. So just yarn over in the right and out the left of the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again in the right and out the left of the next double crochet 3 together, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's your next set of double crochet front post double crochet 2 together. Then we're going to chain 2, and in that very next space, in this chain 3 space here, we're going to put in a double crochet 3 together. So that's completing the first half of a double crochet 3 times, and then yarning over and pulling through all 4 of those loops, a chain 2, another double crochet 3 together, 2 and 3, a chain 4, another double crochet 3 together in that same space, a chain 2, and one final double crochet 3 together, all in that same space. And then we're going to chain 2 to get out. So that is our corner, and it has, as you can see on this one, the corner has the 4 double crochet 3 togethers with the chain 4 as being the corner. So we've just chained 2 to come out, then we're going to need to put in a front post double crochet 2 together around the next 2 double crochet 3 togethers. It's an extraordinary mouthful, but there you go. So we just begin those and complete them. Chain 4, double front post double crochet 2 together around the next 2. So front posting but leaving the final loops on the hook, and again front posting around this one and leaving the final loops on the hook to yarn over and pull through all 3 at once. Another chain 4, 2 more front post double crochet 2 together around those stitches, a chain 2, and we are making a corner in this next space. So that is a double crochet 3 together, a chain 2, a double crochet 3 together, and a chain 4, a double crochet 3 together, a chain 2, and our final double crochet 3 together that makes up the corner. And we chain 2 to come out and put in our front post double crochet 2 together around those 2 stitches, chain 4, and just like we just did on the side here, we're front post double crocheting 2 together around these 2 stitches, chaining 4 again, front post double crocheting 2 together around these 2, chaining 2, and putting in our corner again, which is double crochet 3 together a chain 2, a double crochet, 3 together, a chain 4, a double crochet, 3 together, a chain 2, and one final double crochet, 3 together. Chain 2 to come out, front post double crochet 2 together around our first 2 stitches, chain 4 for the side, front post double crochet 2 together around the next 2 stitches, chain 4 again for the side, front post double crochet 2 together, I'll be saying that in my sleep, for the next 2 stitches, chain 2 to go into the corner and then put in our final corner, 3 double crochet 2 together, 3 double crochet 2 together, no, 3 double crochet together, chain 2, 3 more double crochet together, a chain 4, 3 more double crochet together, a chain 2, and our last double crochet 3 together. Chain 2 to come out, put your front post double crochet 2 together around these 2 stitches, chain 4, and we're back at the beginning. Now this stitch, because it is a together stitch with a chain after it, it has that joining position. If you can't get into it, just join in this loop, it won't matter. But if you can get into it, then great, please do. Just into that chain space. And that is what your square looks like now. All right, so that's round 4. Round 5 is much easier. Essentially, we're just going to slip stitch off into this chain 4 space, chain 3, and put in 3 more double crochet. So that's 4 double crochet in that chain space. And to make this really easy, what I've done is I've said to myself, anytime there is a chain space, I'm going to put in the same number of double crochets in that chain space. So there's chain 4s and there's chain 2s, except in the corners, of course. There's chain 4s and there's chain 2s here and here. So we're going to put in 2 double crochets into the chain 2 spaces and 4 double crochets into the chain 4 spaces. And anywhere we see a front post 2 together, we're going to front post around that. So we've got our 4 double crochets there. We've come up with a front post 2 together, so we just need to front post around that. It's just a normal front post. So insert right to left, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, just a normal front post. And then in this chain 2 space, we're going to put in 2 double crochets. Then in this next chain 2 space between the double crochet 3 togethers, we're going to put in 2 more double crochets. Then in the corner space, we're going to put in 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Did I only put in 2? Yes. Oh dear. 3, we need 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, a chain 2, and 3 more. And that's how the corners will be worked for this round. So 3 double crochet, a chain 2, and 3 double crochet. And we're going to put 2 double crochet in this chain 2 space, 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. We're going to front post around this front post. Then 4 double crochet in the chain 4 space, 3 and 4, a front post around the front post 2 together from the previous round, and 4 double crochet in the space next to it. And then a front post around the front post 2 together, 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space, 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space, 3 double crochet, a chain 2, and 3 double crochet in the corner, a chain 2, and 3 more double crochet. And that's how the side works. So essentially you put in, anytime you see a front post 2 together, front post around it, put your 2 double crochets in these 2 chain 2 spaces, front post around the front post, 4 double crochets in the chain 4, front post around the front post, 4 double crochets in the chain 4, front post around the front post, 2 double crochets in that space, 2 double crochets in that space, and the corner being 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. And I'll see you when we've completed this round. Okay, at the end of this round, when you've done your final 4 double crochets into this chain 4 space, just make sure that you remember to front post around this front post 2 together from the previous round. So just front post around that, and then you can go ahead and join to the top of that chain 3 that we did right at the beginning. And that is, zoom out a bit, that's what the square looks like now. So there's only one round to go now, and that is the round of half double crochet. Of course, you don't have to do round 6 if you don't want to. The square is absolutely fine as it sits now. However, I like the half double crochet round simply because it kind of gives it a neater edge. So all we do for that is chain 2 to get to the height of the half double crochet, and then just half double crochet into every stitch around. And I'd suggest against really tightening down on your stitch, because it can actually sort of interrupt the tension of all of the previous stitches, or it'll make the edges bow a bit, because unless you really tighten down on each and every stitch in this round, don't tighten right down on these half double crochets. But yes, a half double crochet into the top of every stitch. In the corner, we're just going to put in 2 half double crochets and a chain 2 and 2 more half double crochets in each corner. So that is 2 HDCs, 1, 2, a chain 2, and 2 more into that same space. And then when you come out of the corner, don't forget to shift your half double crochets over and make sure you go into this stitch. Don't forget that little stitch it tries to hide in the corners. And simple round of half double crochet all the way around, except for the corners where you do 2 stitches, a chain 2, and 2 more stitches, and I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so at the end of the half double crochet round, this is what your square will look like. You may just have to flatten it out a little bit, but it will sit flat. And then once you've done your final half double crochet, you can just slip stitch to the top of that chain 2 from the beginning of the round and tie off. So it's only a 6 round square. But as you can probably guess, I really love front post and crocheted together stitches. So of course, when I was designing this, that's what we ended up with, a lot of crocheted together and front post stitches. I do hope you enjoy it. Of course, you need to weave in your ends, but there's only 2 if you didn't change colours. If you did change colours, it's fairly obvious where you need to attach your new colour, so just in those chain spaces that I slip stitch into. Otherwise, happy crochet. I really would love to hear about anything you've made in regards to this, and if you would like to send me photos, you can at kimlock71. It's KIMLOCK 71 at gmail.com. That is my email address, and if you do, make a blanket or make a bag or whatever out of it, that'd be really fantastic, because then I can attach those photos in Ravelry as well. But once I identify a name for this little square, then I'll be writing the written pattern up and putting it on Ravelry. So I do hope you use it. Please let me know your thoughts on a name, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye now.